Winter Classic jerseys are revealed, and Noah Gregor stops by to talk Florida Panthers hockey all on this episode of the Florida Panthers Insider. All right, guys. Well, welcome to another episode of the Florida Panthers Insider Podcast, powered by Floridahockeynow. My name is Josh Licht. I'm the host of the program, and I'm joined by the man, the myth, the legend himself, George Richards. George, how you doing, my friend?
Josh, I'm good. It's good to see you on the video screen here. I saw you the other night. Good to see you in person, and
Yeah,
always good to hang out with you, either in person, like in reality, or virtually. So good to see you, man.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun. We'll talk about that in a minute, but we
Okay.
hung out a little bit on Monday, and yeah, man, everything going good with you. It's been a little bit of an eventful week. Some stuff going on. There's things to talk about
Yeah.
on the podcast. But how are you doing? You doing good?
Yeah, everything's good. Just hanging out with the Panthers. You know, we've had a busy week. They had a full weekend, and we got college football going on. We've got NHL, NBA, award season in Major League Baseball. I mean, it's just the NFL, obviously, so
Yeah,
crazy
everything's
time of
cooking.
year. Everything's
It's
cooking.
that time of year.
Turkey's in the oven. I like to get a
Turkey's
head
coming up.
start. I like to get a head start on Thanksgiving. I'm cooking my turkey as we speak.
Wow.
And then I like to freeze it. And then I bring it out for Thanksgiving. And it's usually pretty bad. It's pretty terrible, but it saves time.
Have you ever tried deep frying a turkey? This is like a goal that I have. I've never done
It,
it, but I would
it
like to try.
is worthwhile if you're into cooking and stuff. And odd timing since we've got the Luostarinen news today. But yeah, if you're into like the outdoor grilling and stuff, which I really am not, but I was up with my cousin and he does it all the time up in Ohio. That turkey is spectacular. It takes like an hour and a half to cook instead of however long it takes to make a turkey. I don't know.
Wow.
What's it take? Like 14 hours to make a turkey?
I don't know. The only turkey I ever eat's from Subway, get that turkey sandwich. So,
Eat fresh.
I let other,
Yeah.
I let other people cook turkey, but
We give
you
away
know,
so many free, Subway, give us a call.
yeah,
We'd
we'll do it.
love the sponsorship dollars. I love a good Subway sandwich, like Happy Gilmore. It makes me happy, right?
Eat fresh, right? Well, hey, it's 8 days till Thanksgiving, and speaking
Yep.
of eight, there was 8 goals on Monday night.
Yep.
We had an incredible game. The Vancouver Canucks rolled into town, and it was kind of a wild
Yeah.
gunslinger game. Both teams putting up lots of goals, 8-5 at the end of the day.
A lot of grade A
So
chances. Yeah.
yeah, really a crazy game for both teams. Lots of, and when you think of an 8 goal game, usually you think, oh, a goalie had a bad night. But really, both goalies
No.
played fairly well. That there was just some incredible scoring chances from both sides of the ice.
And incredible playmaking, right? I mean, you had Hughes for New Jersey, 3 secondary assists, but he got things going. I mean, they were just wide open chances. You look at 5 goals given up by Sergei Bobrovsky in that 8-5 loss. One he would like to get back, the one that squirted underneath his glove, but I didn't think Sergei was bad. But it was
No.
just one of those odd nights. A Monday night against a Western Conference opponent. The Panthers fall behind 2-0, quickly make it 2-2 going into the second. They're up 5-2. Vancouver comes back. Florida scores a more. It was just one of those weird nights. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those. I don't know how much of that video they watch. I'm sure Paul Maurice had them looking at a couple of the breakdowns, but there was only one breakaway that Vancouver scored on. So, um, one of those things.
Well, Vancouver had a couple of weird nights because I mean, well, not weird, but they had a lot of offense because they scored 6 on Tampa the night before.
The night
Then they
before,
come
yeah.
into Sunrise and they score 4 on the Panthers. So Vancouver is no slouch. It was a rough game, and as far as they've been heating up a little, and the Panthers heated up even more. And good to see the
Offense
goal
isn't their
scoring
problem. Yeah.
break open. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Offense is
exactly.
not Vancouver's problem. They can
got
put them
some.
in the back of the net. Yeah. But
They
everything
got some
else.
other issues.
Yeah.
Well, you know what made Monday night's game particularly fun is that you and I watched it together. We were hanging out in the press box in Sunrise and enjoying some hot dogs and coffee and all that stuff and
Yep.
talking hockey. And we put together a little video
You did.
about because I think this is an interesting thing. If you've never been in a press box, and let's
Mhm.
face it, most people have not. Most people don't work in media or they've never been in an NHL press box, never been in the Panthers press box. You might wonder, like, what does George's day look like up there? What does the view look like? What's the vibe up there? And so we put together just a couple minute featurette about what George's day looks like in the press box.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Behind the scenes, eh?
yeah, you ready for this, George?
I guess. Go ahead.
All
Let's
right,
see it.
here's the featurette.
Well, Josh, welcome to the Florida Panthers press box here at Amaranth Bank Arena in beautiful downtown Sunrise, the Sunrise Multiplex, as we like to call it. Panthers playing the Vancouver Canucks tonight, and we're here early because that's what we do here in the press box. We get here early. One reason we get here early is so we can go and get some coffee. This is the George Richards Coffee Bar, huh? Pretty nice, right? Pretty nice. The machine is rinsing, so we're going to wait a second. Let's look around the press box. A lot of seats, a lot of, for the media, the scouts, whatnots, social media folks. And yeah, it's a good time up here. Good view. I mean, we're high up, as you can see. The rafters are like right there, and we've got our big screen TVs, otherwise known as the scoreboard. All right, so we're here in the press box again. Would you like a coffee, sir?
I'd only like a George Richards coffee. Is that the special George Richards coffee machine?
It is. Hi, I'm George Richards. What's your name? What do you do?
My name is That's Delicious. I'm Steve Goldstein. I broadcast the Panthers games on television.
Like, from here?
Yeah, from here, from the arena. I'm in the arena.
At the Amaranth Bank Arena.
That's correct. And the road arenas, wherever they are.
So you're on television?
On television, on your in the box in your house.
We're kind of on television right now. This is a cell phone, but it's
It's wonderful.
isn't it nice?
Yeah.
How you been?
I've been terrific. Now that I got a George Richards coffee, I'm getting ready for the game. Warm-up's about to start, and life couldn't be better with the two-time Stanley Cup champs. Let's go. If I ever have to work for a living, George, then I'm in trouble.
All right, Steve Goldstein stopping by, saying hello.
Thanks for the coffee.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no tip, by the way.
And I never.
No, I don't feel the tip jar. Not for him.
Well, I got my coffee, so the game can start. Now we have an hour and 6 minutes before the game starts. So still a lot of sitting around, but the food is here, and that's always important. It looks like we got hot dog buns and ketchup, so there's probably hot dogs, maybe. Anyway, folks, so next time you're here at Amaranth Bank Arena in Sunrise, the Vault, the bank, whatever you want to call it, Bank Atlantic Center, I don't care. Look on up to the press box. You can't miss us. Look at these lights. You come up, sit up here with us, get a tan, and enjoy yourself. Cheers.
Well, there you
So
go.
that's what it looks like when you're in the press box, George.
I think there's going to be a parade of people trying to get up there because that was scintillating.
Well, you invited them, which I thought was very generous.
That is
You
true.
said,
Yeah,
"Come on up
I'm
here."
sure the Panther PR people are very happy when they see this. George is just inviting anybody to have coffee.
Well, I feel like that was the theme. It was like, got to get the coffee, got to make
Got
the
to get the
coffee,
coffee.
got to get Goldie his coffee. And Goldie wasn't the only one that was getting coffee. I was watching. You're basically a barista up there
Yeah,
at the George Richards coffee station.
it's a
So
good coffee machine. Thank you to Bill Zito, general manager of the Panthers, who brought that up there. We a couple years ago. It's a great coffee machine. People love it. We drink that Panther coffee. What is it called? You know what I'm talking about, the Panthers blend from the
yeah,
Castaway Coffee Company.
yeah,
Okay, there's
Castaway.
another plug. Very good coffee. And listen, it's ice cold up there. It's really cold in that press
It
box,
is.
especially, you know, an hour and a half before the game, before the gates open, before the doors open, and people start filling it up. When you first get up to that press box, it's cold. But yeah, it was good. Thank you for doing that, and thanks to Steve Goldstein for walking by, and that was his penance for me making him a coffee. Jumping on the jumping on the pod, and we will have Steve Goldstein on this podcast eventually, but we're saving
Yeah.
him for a rainy day because Steve's got some great stories, good people. He'll be fun.
And if you're wondering, George does work. Like I watched him during the game. He's writing stories. He's doing stuff. I mean, that's all the content that's coming out on Florida Hockey Now. That's not written by AI. That's written by George Richards, right?
All
He's in
right.
there. He's working, and so it's kind of I'm trying to let him do his thing.
That
I'm
that
enjoying
I'll
the
tell you
game.
what, that hour before the game is actually kind of peaceful because everything's mostly
Mm,
done, unless there was breaking news from, from the visiting coach, or if it was back to back. We talked to the coaches before, an hour and a half before the game. Unless there's breaking news, that's just a nice time to get up there, get your situation, make the coffee, and get ready for the game. So
yeah, that was fun. Well, there was some breaking news in the
yeah,
last couple of days. Part of it happened on the Monday night game, but the first thing you referenced it a little bit earlier. We get the news today that Eetu Luostarinen
yeah.
is out week to week right now because of a barbecue incident.
Yeah,
What have you
kind
heard about
of
this,
like,
George?
yeah. I mean, not funny. Apparently, he had a malfunctioning, one of those gas grills.
Mm,
Um, from the way we understand it, he was cooking food, took the food off, went in, and all of a sudden the grill's not working. The flame went out. So he went to relight it, and I guess there was a valve leak or something underneath. And when he went to relight it, the bottom of it, you know
blew out.
blew up, whatever, and caught his pants, his shorts on fire, whatever he
Oh
was
wow.
wearing. So he's got burns on his leg. Paul Maurice says he did not have to spend the night in the hospital, which leads me to believe that he was taken to the hospital
Mm,
for treatment of these burns. And scary situation, I'm sure. And Paul Maurice was like, "Listen, he'll be out until he feels comfortable because that skin's got to heal. He's
right.
got to put on pads and all that kind of stuff, and you don't want that, to interfere with the healing process. And even if you can, it might have to be completely. I don't know. So we'll see what happens with that Toulouse and obviously a freak accident. And yeah, he missed Monday night's game, and he's going to miss. I guess he's week to week, as Paul would say, but that sounds like he's out for a minute.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, some really freak accidents in the NHL in the last couple of weeks. Jack Hughes in New Jersey has some sort of incident, gets
Yeah.
cut at a steakhouse at a team event. And now this with the barbecue, it's, hide your players, man, lock them down, tell them stay inside. Don't go do
Well,
anything,
Cole
don't eat.
Schwindt.
Yeah.
Cole Schwindt's a freak accident. He runs into Sergei Bobrovsky.
Monday night.
He and Bobrovsky collide. He gets caught, up here. I guess it broke. Paul Marie says he needs surgery. He's out a couple months. So, yeah, just Florida's got 7 players down now. 6 are forwards. So, just the
It
the the
seems,
the injury list just keeps adding up.
yeah, I mean, it seems predictive that the Iceplex is sponsored by Baptist Health because so many
You're
Panthers
getting
are
a lot of
dealing with,
business.
yeah, a lot of business. They're dealing with the injuries, and it just keeps coming. In the midst of all of this, of course, every time there is an injury, and we hope those guys get better and they're back on the ice, it
Yeah.
creates opportunity, right? Like injuries create opportunity, and the big opportunity here is one of the Panthers' top prospects, Jack Devine, getting the call from Charlotte to come up. He's going to make his debut Thursday night against the New Jersey Devils. What do we think about this, George?
No, good for Jack. I mean, listen, this is a kid that, was a seventh round draft pick in 2022 by the Florida Panthers and just he just outkicked his coverage. I mean, this guy,
Yeah,
as soon as he went to the University of Denver, it just clicked for him. If you were redrafted, this guy would have been a first round pick. He was a Hobie
for
Baker
sure.
Award finalist last year at the University of Denver. And listen, we talked about this last year. Jack went back for his senior year. And usually when a college player does that, that's a red warning light that this guy is not signing with your organization. And I talked to Bill Zito. I was like, is there any concern that because he's going back to Denver, that he won't be with the Florida Panthers? Because a lot of these guys would be like, hey, you drafted me too low. I'm going to see what I can get as a free agent. After you leave as a senior, you can become a free agent in August or whatever. Bill was like, no, this is a great kid. We're very close with him. He wants to go back to Denver to win a third national championship. Bill Zito was all for it. The Florida Panthers were completely supportive of Jack going back to college. And I think that resonated with Jack. And he was like, man, the Panthers are cool. Soon as his season was over, he signs his ELC with the Panthers, goes to the Charlotte Checkers on an ELC, not on the ESS, sorry, on a PTO, a professional tryout. So he doesn't burn a year. I mean, he obviously could have burned a year of his contract, didn't do that. So his PTA, his entry level contract kicked in this season. The kid's been loyal to the franchise. The franchise has been good to him too. And so, long-winded answer, yes, good for him. Very well deserved. He's off to a really good start in Charlotte. 6 goals, 13 points, and I believe 14 games. So almost a point a game at the AHL in his first true pro season. And Jack makes his NHL debut Thursday night against the Devils.
Well, isn't it true that like great teams figure out how to do things like this, like draft gems in later rounds and then
Yeah,
pull them up and get them into great position? When you think about a lot of franchises that have had success, they were able to do that. I mean,
sure.
famously, the Detroit Red Wings, found guys like Zetterberg and Datsuk in late rounds and then, found value in them. And that's exactly what the Panthers have to do with having
They
traded
have
their
to do that.
first
Yeah.
round picks, a lot of first round picks are missing from Florida's roster because of trades they made to win Stanley Cups. You have to hit on those lower round picks. And Jack is a great example of the Panthers hitting one out of the ballpark there.
Yeah, and what else did the Detroit Red Wings not have? First round picks, like you said,
Yeah.
they were getting guys third, fourth round, and they were developing them at the AHL level at Grand Rapids, and those guys were able to come in and fit right in. The Florida Panthers are doing a great job in Charlotte of playing their systems. Jordy Kinnear and the Charlotte Checkers are playing like the Panthers. When guys come up, they should be able to slot right in and play the way the Panthers do. So,
And Charlotte had a great run last year, making it
yeah,
all the way to the AHL finals for the Calder Cup and ultimately falling to Vancouver's minor league team, the Abbotsford Canucks.
yeah,
But hey, I'll tell you what, Charlotte Checker hockey is a lot of fun. If you've never watched one of those games, I think it's Flow TV, it's called Flow Hockey. You
yeah.
can go on that
Flow hockey.
website and you're able to watch. I've done it a bunch of times. I did it during the playoffs in the AHL, the Calder Cup. It's a great time watching those guys down in Charlotte develop, and they're playing great hockey. And so now Jack's going to get a chance to come up and slot in with the NHL team. So be looking for him to try to make an impact right away, playing his style on Thursday night against the Devils.
There you go.
Big news, big, huge, massive news, George. Breaking today, 10 a.m. The Winter Classic jerseys drop for the New
There they
York
are.
Rangers and the Florida Panthers. They put out this little promo video here. I'll play it for just in the background while we're talking about it.
Okay.
But they go ahead and they drop the look, and I'll tell you what, George, I could not be happier that the NHL avoided the temptation
Yeah.
to do the Miami Vice colors, and instead they go with classic Florida Panther red. They tie it back to some of Miami's hockey history, which I'll let you talk about a little bit, George, because you just wrote a great piece on Florida Hockey Now about the history of hockey in Miami. But man, the Panthers put out a beautiful, retro looking classic red winter classic jersey. What do you think about that, George?
Yeah, it's certainly a little different. Now let's go to the Miami Vice stuff. There's going to be plenty of Miami Vice stuff. The Vice look, the pastels, the pink, the neon pink, the teal, all that stuff at the event. As you could see from the video, if you're listening to us on the Florida Panthers Insider, just you've seen the video anyway. But I think what happened is the New York Rangers said we are not wearing pink or black or light blue. So that meant that you couldn't do it. And not that the Florida Panthers wanted to do it, because when this first was announced, I heard that the Viola family was very much against doing Vice stuff. If it was going to be anything, it was going to be Florida Panther throwbacks. I didn't think they were going back to pre-World War II throwbacks. I thought maybe it'd be a take on the 1993 jerseys with the stripe, the chevron stripes down the sleeves. What we got is basically a copy of the 1938 Tropical Hockey League, which with 4 teams that played in Coral Gables, Florida. For those of you not from South Florida, it was a nice suburb of Miami where the University of Miami is located. They had the first ice plant in the South in Coral Gables, and they had a hockey league. It lasted 1 year. It was the Miami Clippers, the Miami Beach somethings, the Miami Beach Seminoles, I think it is, the Havana Tropicals, and the Coral Gables, whatever. Anyway, 4 teams, and they basically took the look from those 1930s teams and turned them into Florida Panthers. Now, people are complaining about the leaping cat, right? I've heard it called Ozempic cat because it does look a little thin in the skin. My thought was, and this is actually what the NHL said. This is a take on what the Panthers logo might have looked like if somebody came up with it in 1938. It just has simplistic features. There's, it looks like something that would be on, a B-2 bomber or something. It's just got that 1940s look. It goes with it. I mean, it looks cool. People, some people hate the gold pants. Some people love them. Listen, it looks like they look old school. They look, like they were around back then. They weren't. They had to make this up. But I think a lot of people like it. I got a story at Florida Hockey Now. I talked to a couple players from the Panthers and Paul Maurice asking them about it. So you can check that out on Thursday at FloridaHockeyNow.com.
Well, George, it took me a second. I saw him initially and I thought, yes, red, not Vice. I love that.
Right.
I really like the stripes on the sleeves and on the pants. And it took me a second with the cat because I'm looking at it going, it does look a little strange. It looks a little different than what we're used to. I read the description that the NHL put out. I love that they're trying to do that vintage 1930s, 40s look. And it does look like something that would have been drawn in the 1930s. If you look at some of those original NHL sweater designs, this is kind of it's not perfect. It's not made in a computer and designed,
Right. It was somebody drew it.
Drew it. Yeah. But I love that they're going to have a little bit of felt in the logo. They're going to have a little bit of fabric feel, a little bit of that old school look. I think it's going to look great. And the more I've looked at it today, since it came out this morning, it's Wednesday night now. The more that I looked at it, the more I've liked it. And the more I've loved it. And I love all the different aspects of the connection to the Tropical League.
When you look at it from the back, there's a picture that's on the screen right here for those of you who've checked us out on Apple or Spotify or what have you. It really looks old school from the back, right? That Reinhardt picture. I mean, that really looks like that. You can see all the stripes in the picture. The one where they're standing flush, it just looks, hey, why are those stripes on the socks? You can't really see the ones on the sleeve. I like the way that they used all the colors, right? They used the red, the blue, the yellow, the shade of yellow that they haven't used in a couple since the redesign, and yet that tan is the the tan, the gold or whatever that they currently use. So they've got both shades of the yellow, the red, the dark blue. You got your leaping cat. Um, they grow on you because I don't remember who I told this to. I saw this about 3 weeks ago. And at first glance, I was like, something's up with that leaping cat. But you know what? It grew on me because I was like, oh, I get what they were trying to do. The Miami Clippers, 1938. Okay, I get it. The New York Rangers celebrating their 100th anniversary. They're just basically using their centennial jerseys in reverse. They went white with the New York diagonally down the front.
Yeah,
That,
here, I'll pull that
you
up so
didn't
we can
have to.
look
You
at it.
don't have to do. If you want to make the New York Rangers look like the 1930 New York Rangers, you've got plenty of options because they were around in the 1930s. You could just go to one of their old jerseys. The Panthers, they had to get creative. I thought they did. I think they're really going to look good on the ice.
Yeah, I think they are. And you know what's cool too, George? A lot of this merch is going to come out on Thursday. It's going to be available at Amerant Bank Arena during the Devils game. It's going to be available online tomorrow as we record this Wednesday night. And there's more than just the jerseys. And I saw some of the players today were wearing some of the hats, some of the jackets like that. That
Yeah.
Panther makes an appearance all over. I think the fans are going to be really happy with the Winter Classic merch.
Right, because if you buy one of these jerseys, and I'm not telling you to, I'm not telling anybody how to spend their money, but if you decide to buy one of these jerseys to wear to the game, guess what you're not going to be wearing? Gold pants. Those are going to look good with a pair of, you know what I mean? Like the Panthers, if they want to
Yeah.
wear this as a third jersey and just wear their usual blue, it would look sharp. You don't need the gold pants. You don't need the striped socks for that to be a pretty good looking jersey. So if the Panthers wanted to bring it out a few times and not go through the whole thing, I think you could.
Hey, let me ask you this, George. What do you think the odds are we're going to see Matthew Tkachuk wearing one of these on the ice in Miami in January?
I really don't. I don't know. I think it's still too early, but I mean, I still think he doesn't come back till mid January. I mean, I know he wants to be there. He wants to be at everything. Um, Florida's not going to let him play unless he's 100%. They're not going to let him do anything until he's 100%. Paul Maurice said, I think it was this morning, that he's not due back on the ice with the Panthers for a week and a half to 2 weeks still. So we'll have to see what happens there. Okay, so let's say he comes back. Let's say next week after Thanksgiving. That's December 1st, right?
Yeah.
That gives him a month to get ready. Listen, I think that when he had the surgery and stuff, they knew the timeline, and the timeline was middle of January. So, can he come back 2 weeks earlier? I guess, but I don't think. I would think that for him to be playing, he would have to be playing right after Christmas to play in the Rare Classic. They're not going to let him go on ice at a baseball stadium in Miami if he hasn't played before then.
Well, it just would be a shame if Ekblad's the only one who gets to wear that beautiful captain letter there, the A,
Yeah.
with Barkov not playing and Kachuk not playing. I'd like
You
to
could always
see,
you could always assign. You could always give the A out to somebody.
yeah, maybe
You
they'll do
know.
that. Maybe they'll give Rhino one or something like that. But yeah, Winter Classic, definitely something that if you're here in South Florida, you don't want to miss. And I know the Panthers have been talking about how they've released some more tickets for that.
More tickets, right? There's tickets on Ticketmaster. The NHL
Yeah.
asked me to relay that. I said I would.
Yes, so they're available. You can go on there, get your tickets. And I actually, it was funny. I was
And
having
real
this
quick, hey,
conversation.
how about some
Yeah.
credit for me? I didn't leak what the thing looked like. How about that?
Yeah, you didn't even tell me,
Yeah.
and I asked you. It's true. I was talking to somebody today about the ticket prices, and they were like, "Oh, it's a little expensive." And okay, it is a little expensive, but can I just tell you this? If you're a Panther fan, this isn't happening again.
Right.
Probably not. Maybe 20 years from now, they do a 20th anniversary Miami game, but the odds of there being another outdoor game in South Florida anytime soon, very slim. It's been almost 20 years since they started doing outdoor games. This is the first time that they've done one here, and mostly it's because George has been screaming about it for the last 10 years. You don't want to miss this. This is an experience. This is something that you want to be at. So go on Ticketmaster, tell the NHL George sent you, and get those tickets, because you do not want to miss out. You don't want to be sitting at home if you live in South Florida. If you're able to go, you don't want to be sitting at home watching it on TV going, oh man, I wish I went to that.
I wish I went to that. A lot of credit has to go to the Tampa Bay Lightning for making this happen, believe it or not. The Tampa Bay Lightning have been really, really, really going hard after the NHL ever said what 2018 they had the All-Star game, right? In Tampa.
Yeah.
They started hammering the NHL about having an outdoor game in Tampa then. The Panthers really weren't in any kind of shape to be making any sorts of demands. They were just happy to get the All-Star game. But then the Panthers were like, hey, how about us? Like, we got this beautiful ballpark in Little Havana. And the NHL was like, okay, originally the original thought was going to be the Panthers versus the Lightning, but where would it go? Because Tampa really, and then the Panthers, and they said, you know what, they're both getting it. Let's celebrate Florida hockey, and we're going to celebrate Florida hockey now.
Now, 4 Stanley Cups in 5 years in South Florida. Florida
Yeah.
is the state of hockey, as far as I'm concerned right now.
Yeah.
And we're going to
So-
celebrate that in January and February. So don't miss out on that. Well, we have a special guest. He's waiting in the waiting room for us.
Okay.
So, George, let's get him on. Noah Gregor is going to join the show here in just a moment. Let's get him in. All right, joining us now is Noah Gregor of the Florida Panthers. Noah, thank you for joining us on the Florida Panthers Insider Podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And welcome to South Florida. No, it's only been a couple months since you've been down here. What are your thoughts and what's it been like here playing here with the Panthers?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Obviously spent some time here as a visiting team, but we usually just kind of stick to the beach and the hotel where we're at. So I haven't really explored, Fort Lauderdale and the surrounding areas too much. So it's nice to kind of get involved with the community, see what this area is all about. But it's been nothing but good things from here. The team's been great. The facilities are awesome here, and I'm really enjoying it so far.
I wanted to ask you. I did speak to you during training camp. You were here on a professional tryout. Could you explain to people what that's like? I know you made the Toronto Maple Leafs on a PTO a few years ago, so you had some experience with it. What's that like coming to training camp, not having a roster spot, knowing you're fighting every day to stick around? What's the attitude when you're going through that?
Yeah, it's a little different. It's it's a little more stressful for sure than when you have a contract locked up. But I had good conversations with the management on when they brought me in, and they seemed like they were really going to give me a fair shot at making the team. And on a PTO, that's all you can ask for. I know there's some guys that come in and it's just kind of to fill a roster spot in exhibition, but that wasn't the case here. They were going to give me a fair look, and if I played to my strengths and had a good camp, they were going to give me all the chances to make the team. And I thought I had a really strong camp, and the management did as well. And I was able to make a contract out of it.
We're talking to Noah Gregor of the Florida Panthers here on the Florida Panthers Insider. It's Wednesday today. The Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers unveiled their Winter Classic jerseys. This is going to be your first time having an opportunity to play in an outdoor game. What's the talk? I mean, I know it's a ways away. The game's not till January 2nd, but is there any excitement building for this? It's such a unique event, especially, the fact that it's going to be at a ballpark in Miami.
Yeah. I don't think there's been a ton of conversations yet. We're still, a month and a half away or whatever we are. But I'm super excited. I've always thought of the Winter Classics as one of the coolest events of the year, and to be able to play in a game like that outdoors will be really fun. Definitely be different being in the Miami heat and that aspect of it. But I'm excited. It was cool to see the jerseys today. I think they look great. A little different. So it'll be exciting. I'm really fired up for it.
Noah, you played in some Canadian markets. You played in San Jose. Going into playing for the Panthers this year, what was kind of your perception of the Florida Panthers when you were playing against them over the last couple of years? What was your perception of the Panthers? How did you see them as an opponent before you joined them?
You know, obviously going to the finals is 3 years in a row is you see how good they are, but playing against them, it was never a run and gun game where they have guys flying around making crazy skill plays. They're just really hard to play against, and you see that throughout their entire lineup. The top line plays very similar to the way the fourth line plays. We play with structure. Obviously, those guys have a little more skill than the guys on the fourth line, but everyone plays hard. They're blocking shots. They play physical. They practice hard. They work hard off the ice. Those are things I'm learning now, just how hard these guys work, and obviously has paid off the past. Even going back 4 or 5 years.
And that suits your style, right? We talked about that at training camp. That north-south style, that's you, right?
Yeah, exactly. I play pretty straight lines, and like to get out on the forecheck, play physical, and hopefully I can contribute when I can. But if I just play with speed and play with energy, bring some energy to those lower minutes in the lineup, and free up those other guys to do what they do. That's all I can do, and I feel like my game fits in pretty well.
You grew up outside Edmonton, correct?
Yes, yeah, Beaumont.
Beaumont, Alberta. Looking at, you grew up an Oilers fan, I have to assume.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
There was some family and friends that have definitely some the Oilers are their favorite team, and they had to think twice about me going to the Panthers. But everyone always supports me. It was like that with the Leafs too. Wherever the Leafs play, there's always some fans that don't like them either. So I've kind of dealt with the teams I'm playing on, my friends or whatever. They don't love the team, but they like watching me play. So hopefully be cheering for the Panthers. Maybe not when we're playing the Oilers, but I can't be begging for too much here.
And is that cool when you play a team like the Oilers, your hometown team, but knowing that everybody back home, you guys the Florida Panthers are playing host to the Oilers Saturday night. When the Oilers you're playing them, that everybody back home is watching. I mean, everybody's watching that game.
Yeah, there's for sure some more eyeballs on those games. Especially when I'm back in Edmonton, those are always some of my favorite games when the family and friends are at the game and watching live. So it'll be fun on Saturday night. Obviously, a huge rivalry between these two teams. I haven't been a part of it, but I've watched from afar, and they've always been great. Great series, good games. They're intense, so it'll be a good one on Saturday.
Well, Noah, growing up in Western Canada, playing in Toronto, what has been the vibe difference in South Florida, like living in South Florida, being around the hockey fans of South Florida? What's that been like for you?
Yeah, it's a little different just the climate wise. You're not used to playing hockey in warmer weather. I had a little bit of it in San Jose, but Florida's it's even hotter. You're at the beach every day, so it's different. But I was surprised at how many fans there are around the city. There's a lot of Panthers jerseys. There's a lot of Panthers signs or license plates. So it's really cool. We had a great event a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of people at the rink, and they love the Panthers here. Obviously, it helps when the team's been winning a lot, but the support's been awesome. The arena's been great. The fans have been great. It's been loud in there, so it's been awesome.
And you're at the beach every day?
Not
Every
quite
day,
every
every
day.
day you're in the ocean?
I'll wander over every now and then, but I'm usually at the pool most days or getting some sun at some point. It's nice when you're in November and December coming up here when you can be outside every day in shorts. It's good living.
People love it, man.
Oh yeah.
Well, Noah, we do this thing when every time we have one of the players on, sponsored by the Infield, which is a bar just down the street from the arena, and they have three burning questions that they want to ask you. And the first one is super simple: how do you like your wings? Like when you go out and you get chicken wings, what's your go-to order?
I usually do hot wings, side of ranch. I like the drumsticks a little more, so that might be controversial, but I like the drums.
Okay.
I'm
Drums
with
over
you.
flats.
I love the drumsticks.
Yeah,
They
I
tell
love
you they want to charge you extra for them. I'm like, if you want all drums, come on. Not at the infield. The infield will do it for you
Okay.
gratis. Yeah.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Okay, so ranch, and then just like as hot as they get, or do you have
No,
like a
no,
threshold?
I'm just like a standard, whatever, when you order a hot wing, just hot wings. I don't
Okay,
get too crazy with it.
Good man right there.
that's
Yeah.
a good order. Very standard. So
Get the
second
flavor of it.
question. Yeah, second burning question is this. What is a favorite sports memory from childhood? So this could either be a memory where you were playing, or it could be a memory for a team that you were rooting for.
Oh, good question. I didn't win a ton growing up. I won a WHL championship. I was 20, so I don't know if that counts as an early memory, but I would say probably just playing outdoors growing up in just outside Edmonton. It's cold. You got a ton of outdoor rinks, so I would say that going to the outdoor rink, a lot as a kid. I would go with my brother a ton. He played hockey as well and some friends, so we put in a lot of hours at the outdoor rink back home.
A lot of palm trees at the outdoor rinks in Edmonton.
Not a lot of that, no.
So it'll be in a sense, when you go out there in the Winter Classic, it'll be a callback, just maybe a little bit more humid than up there in Alberta.
Yeah, a little different climate, but it'll be cool to to see the stars at night.
Awesome. And then the third burning question, Noah, is this. I know you weren't with the team the last couple of seasons, but going for the three-peat this year, if the Panthers win the Stanley Cup again, what is your ideal day with the Stanley Cup? Like, what would you want to do with it if you had that opportunity?
I don't know. I don't want to look too far ahead and try and picture what my day would look like. I'd be lying if I said I hadn't thought about it. I think any hockey player with that goal to win the Stanley Cup has, but it would definitely be coming back to Beaumont, Alberta, and sharing it with family and friends.
Yep.
Yeah,
You got to
that sounds
take it home. You got to,
Yeah.
see mom, see the parent, everybody that you brought up with, your old friends. Yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I know where I'll be taking it, but what the day, what I have planned for the day, I would have no idea.
Very cool. Well, Noah Gregor of the Florida Panthers, we thank you for joining us here on the Florida Panthers Insider, and good luck to you and the Panthers the rest of the season. Thanks, man.
Okay, thanks, guys. Yeah, I appreciate
it, Noah.
All right, Noah, we'll see you later.
Okay, see you guys.
All right, Noah, thank you so much for being part of the show. That was awesome to have Noah jump in.
Yep.
And I love hearing from some of these guys that are, they're battling for spots, but they're battling for the team every night. Yeah. And Gregor's definitely been a bright spot this year for the Panthers when he's got an opportunity.
Yeah, the Panthers have done a real nice job of identifying players who could just kind of walk in the door and be part of the fabric. And you've seen it with Jeff Petrie, Noah Gregor, Luke Kunin, new guy. I mean, last year, Nate Schmidt became everybody's best friend the first day of training camp. And I think you see it with these guys. Noah Gregor every day. He's in there mixing it up with it's like they've been here forever. And I think that doesn't happen all the time. We're kind of spoiled with the Florida Panthers because it seems like every new player that comes in just fits right in. The Boquist brothers fit right in, that kind of thing. It just doesn't happen. You hear a lot about NHL teams where it's just not the right fit. It just didn't work out. Here it just seems like, hey, you're part of it. Let's go.
Yeah. And those guys always become, like you said, fan favorites. Nate Schmidt had his own fan club last year. Noah Gregor's been
he deserved it. Nate Schmidt was the best. Yeah. Nate Schmidt, good guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Gregor's playing physical. He's playing hard. He's part of that line that works. And that's exactly what the Panthers have needed here. And with all the injuries, he's getting great opportunity.
Sure.
So yeah, great to have Noah on the show. And let's talk about this upcoming week. This is a big week.
Right.
It's a big week for a lot of reasons. For one, George, it's Thanksgiving week.
Oh, look at that. Look at you, fancy
Thanksgiving.
pants.
Thanksgiving is coming up. We got the
Oh,
turkeys, we got
yeah.
the pumpkin pie, we got all that.
All right.
And I'll say this, George, there is something in my soul that equates Thanksgiving and hockey. Like I know most people think about Thanksgiving and football, and I know that's a
Sure.
big thing too. But I
Yeah.
always think about like there's always some really fun matchups in South Florida Thanksgiving week. The Panthers have always wanted to have big teams come and play big games against the Panthers because there's people traveling. You know, that was originally the reason. There's people traveling to South Florida to be part of that. But this is always a week where there's some great games, and there is some really good games coming up here
Yeah,
for the
certainly.
Panthers. A nice homestand for them. So let's talk about it. We're recording this show on Wednesday, but Thursday night, maybe when you're listening to the show tonight, is the New Jersey Devils, the Jack
Nice game.
Hughes-less
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils, roll into town. What do you think about the matchup with the Devils and the Panthers?
Well, I think Quinn Hughes did enough damage that the Panthers don't need to see
Another
Luke.
two?
So yeah. So they're good there. No, listen, the New Jersey Devils are legitimately one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference this season. They've got a very good team. They play hard. They play the game the right way. They're already 1-0 against the Panthers. I think they beat the Panthers a couple times last year. We talked, I think, in the preseason, we were talking about teams that were going to make that step. New Jersey just was like Florida last year with a lot of key injuries, and they could not overcome that. If New Jersey stayed healthy, we figured they were going to be what we thought they were. So far this season, New Jersey looks sharp. So, really good game for the Panthers on Thursday night against the Devils.
Yeah, and it might get a start from former Florida Panther Jacob Markstrom. We're not sure.
They are not. They've already announced it's Allen. So,
Oh, they are.
sorry,
Okay.
Josh.
Oh, I didn't know. That's why
No,
you're the
that's okay.
insider.
I didn't even tweet it. I just saw that he said that today. I think,
Okay.
I think Markstrom's still battling something or whatever, but he's going to back up. But
Okay.
Allen gets the start.
Well, that's good because Markstrom has been great and the Devils have been good. So that'll be a challenging
Yeah.
game. But then Saturday, big moment. The Edmonton Oilers roll back into town. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, a little bit of hurt feelings from a couple of Stanley Cup finals in the last couple of years. Big game.
Yeah.
Panthers always get up for big games, but so do the Oilers. So what do you think of this matchup Saturday
Well,
at 7:00?
the Oilers are on a really long road trip. They haven't been playing well at all. This is a team that is notorious for its slow starts. They got off the one 2 years ago. They got off to which ended up in them getting a new head coach. They got off to a slow start last year as defending Western Conference champions, and they're off to a slow start again as the two-time defending Western Conference champs. But they will be up for this one. They're just like the Panthers get up for those playoff games. Edmonton, when they walk into that building in Sunrise, they're literally going to see red. We're going to have a barn burner on Saturday night because the Panthers, hey, they may not hate Edmonton like they do Vegas or, whatever, but they played them the last 2 years in the finals. Very physical series, very emotional series. Saturday night against Edmonton should be a really good one.
Yeah, don't miss that out. And if you're out of market, that's an NHL Network exclusive game. You can watch it on Script Sports if that's how you watch your Panther games here in South Florida. But you're out of market, you're going to have to find a way to watch NHL Network to watch that game because it's a big game. It's going to be a great matchup, and hopefully the Panthers are ready for that, going to get up for that.
All your cable or satellite provider.
Yeah, tell them you need that NHL Network. Okay, so Monday, then the Panthers take a quick road trip to Nashville to take the Predators on in Nashville. And then they come back on the Wednesday night before Thanksgiving for a matchup with the Philadelphia Flyers. So I know that's a little bit in the future, but why don't you just tee up those two matchups for us, George, real quick, the Preds and the Flyers.
Well, Nashville looks like they're having another one of those years. The Predators are one of the few teams in the NHL that you could probably consider a seller. It doesn't look like they're going to be in the playoffs this year. Andrew Brunette and Derek McKenzie, part of the coaching staff there in Nashville. We'll see them on Monday night. Wednesday, like you said, it's the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia already beat the Panthers. Philadelphia looks improved. I don't know that they're a playoff team. Remember, Josh, we talked in which teams are going to fall out of the playoffs, which teams are going to get in there. We didn't think Philadelphia was going to be one of those teams to make the jump. I still don't think Philadelphia is going to be the team to make that jump, but they're playing much better. They are playing much better than they were. And then what? Calgary, you said?
Yeah. Calgary
Always
next
good.
Friday.
Always good to see Calgary. Black Friday. We got our buddies coming to town. We've got Jonathan Huberdeau. We've got Mackenzie Weegar. We've got Ryan Lamborghini coming back. So everybody loves seeing those guys. That's a 4:00 start too, Josh. So
on Black
and
Friday. So
yeah,
pro
and
tip.
Pro tip.
If
Bring
you're
it
coming
early
to the arena, get there early. If you normally park at the mall, buy a parking pass, because this is not going to be the day for that for you. Okay.
This is not going to be the day to park at the mall. No.
Black Friday is a crazy day in the Sawgrass area of Sunrise. So make sure you get there early. Make sure you get parking.
And the tow trucks are out. So if you normally park in a questionable parking spot, do not do that on Friday because your car will be gone.
Yeah, make sure if you're going to do that you're ready to take an Uber to the tow yard. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's going to be a crazy day, but it's going to be a great game. And it's always fun to see our old friends Huberdeau and Weegar.
Absolutely. And always good to see those guys. Yep.
Yeah. So big week.
Good week. It's a really good week. Yeah. It's a good week of games. Again, great competition with New Jersey and Edmonton. And then you've got Nashville. Listen, it's an up and back for Florida. That's not an easy place to play. It's Thanksgiving week in Nashville too, so they're going to have a rowdy crowd. A lot of Florida Panther fans are making this trip. I've already talked to a few, so there'll be some Panther fans in the building, and that could be a desperate Nashville team. And then, like you said, the Philadelphia Flyers and Calgary Flames after around Thanksgiving. So.
Well, make sure that you follow along with George's writing. He had a very great article about that tropical hockey league that came out. Great timing.
That was my hint to you. That was my hint to you guys.
That's the hint. That was the hint. Great timing. So he has that piece come out. But you can check it all out on Florida Hockey Now. There's incredible articles on there, all sorts of great information you don't want to miss on Florida Hockey Now. So make sure that you go on there. You can subscribe, I think, on the website to get the emails as well. And so you want to make sure that you do that, because then your inbox will be blessed every morning with beautiful, incredible opinions and takes and stories from George. So make sure you do that. You don't want to miss out.
And you get a clean ad-free reading experience when you subscribe too, which is really nice. Yeah, it's really nice, easy to
Yeah. I read it all the time that way. So make sure you subscribe to Florida Hockey Now, and then also make sure that you subscribe to this podcast. There's lots of different ways you can do that. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, Podcatcher, wherever you get your podcasts, you can get the Florida Panthers Insider podcast. So make sure you do that, and also subscribe to YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button, help out the channel, and that way you'll get a notification every time George drops an interview post game, or he drops one of the practice sessions, one of the press conferences, and every time you get a podcast. So make sure you follow along on the Florida Hockey Now YouTube channel. Everyone else, I'll put this graphic up again. Have a great Thanksgiving, George. I'm excited. I don't know if we'll talk before Thanksgiving. The schedule might change a little bit next week, but I hope.
Are we taking next week off?
I don't know if we're going to take it off. It just might be a little later. We'll see.
Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk about it. But I hope everybody has a great Thanksgiving.
Me too.
Get that turkey. Don't do it the George Richards way, where you make the turkey then refreeze the turkey. Do it. Look it up. Google it. because that seemed like bad advice. But
I think
make sure-
Butterball, another pro. I think Butterball has like a hotline you can call. So
Oh, okay. The butter.
yeah,
The
or at least they
butter.
used to. I don't know.
1-800 Butterball. I don't know if that's
just
even
Google
a
it.
thing.
Yes, Google
Yeah,
it.
Google
or watch.
it.
You know what?
Google
Watch
it.
a YouTube video. How to cook a
Yeah.
turkey. We'll put one on
Yeah.
Florida Hockey Now's channel. You watch. I will. I'll do it.
This YouTube channel does not do a lot of cooking tips. So you want to
No, but I'm
I'm
gonna find one and put it on. It's gonna be like from the 50s. It's gonna be like June Cleaver. Here, you baste
there
it.
you go.
Get,
You can put on your Winter Classic.
Yeah.
Put on your Winter Classic jersey, and you can make a turkey like they did in the 1950s.
Get 19 sticks of butter and clove. I'll find one. I'll put it up.
We'll do it.
Cool.
Well, everybody, thank you so much for listening. We love you guys. Appreciate it. And Panthers Nation, get ready for an awesome Thanksgiving week. We'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Happy trails.